Hello, hello. Welcome to Just Jenna. You have no idea how excited I am that you're here. I'll be sharing the wisdom, questions, and curious little truths I've gathered along the way. From brilliant thinkers to weird memes, from ancient texts to the knowing of nature. Some of what I've learned came from books, some from breakdowns, some from simply paying attention, and some from fumbling through it myself. My hope is that these stories expand you the way that they've expanded me. So maybe, just maybe, you don't have to trip over the same parts of life I did. And if you do trip and fall, it's okay. I won't tell anyone. Hello, my little beans, my little human beings, my sweet little babies that listen to me yap. Hi, what's going on? How are you guys doing? I know pretty much every single person that listens to this podcast has my phone number. So text me. Let me know. How you doing? Seriously. Bugs, how you doing? I love you, buddy. Anyways, you guys, I had this big plan. As you can see from my last podcast episode, all about discernment, I had this big plan to really just set you guys up with this beautiful landscape for me to make this episode all about my tips and tricks. I was going to do my big one. I was going to influence you guys. Seriously. I was going to tell you all the things that I do. I was going to tell you guys what I would recommend to live a beautiful, happy, wonderful, joyous, exhilarating, exciting, Jenna-style life. But if I'm being honest with you, I do have it planned. That is more of a planned episode because I wrote out some things and I really want to make sure I articulate myself well. You know what I mean? And I don't have the time right now. I don't have the time to do that because it's going to take a lot of effort for me. And this episode that you're about to consume, I am, just so you know, I'm going to paint the scene for you. I have about 17 tabs open. I have so many things I'm working on. There's cords everywhere. I'm holding onto this microphone and it's kind of balancing on some towels. I have a sports bra to my right, a DMV letter in front of me, a new credit card, some crystals, a book, my stuffed animal, some coconut water, and I am leaning on the wall. Okay? I got a lot going on. It's summertime, you know what I mean? And I'm really starting to understand what summertime means for me. What summertime means for a woman like me that is so in tune with nature, I couldn't even help it if I tried. Shit is in bloom and it's all happening. I'm saying yes to everything. I'm doing as much as I can. It feels awesome until it doesn't. And today I woke up and it didn't really feel awesome because I was like, whoa, I have said yes to a lot of things and I have so many things I need to get done in 24 hours. Why do I need to get everything done in 24 hours? Because I'm leaving to go to San Diego, you guys. I am hoot scooting and boogieing and I'm going to San Diego to continue to follow my dreams. And I think I want to talk about that. Again, I don't have anything planned right now, but I do know that I want to get an episode out because I don't want to be a wiener that doesn't follow through. And I think sometimes something is better than nothing. And you know what? You guys are going to get such a quality episode sometime soon. I just don't think it's this one, but that's okay. And I'm going to keep going because I think I want to talk a little bit about yoga and talk a little bit about what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because I feel as though I have expressed to quite a lot of people at this point throughout my life, because I've had this dream of doing my yoga teacher training for years now. And I want to emphasize, I've had a dream to do a yoga teacher training. I don't have a dream of being a yoga teacher. Okay? Every single time I talk about this dream with someone, everyone assumes that I want to be a teacher. Everybody. And I think I want to clear some stuff up. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm about to clear some stuff up. I don't know why there is a little voice inside of me saying, Jenna, you gotta go. You gotta go to San Diego. Well, actually, before that, it was, you gotta go to California. Go to California. You gotta go to San Diego. Then you gotta go to La Jolla and Encinitas. I've been hearing that voice in my head for over a year now, and I just kind of surrendered to it. And that same voice is saying, go get your yoga teacher certification training. Go to your yoga training, girl. Go do it. And I'm just at a point in my life now where I choose to listen to those little whispers, because I'm not speaking for you guys, but my whispers turn into blood-curdling screams if I don't listen. And they're still whispers right now. Right now, we're sorted because I'm listening to the whispers of my heart. When I wasn't listening to the whispers of my heart, like I said, blood-curdling screeches and screams, life made me go through painful experiences. So it would, I don't know, it forces you to do things. Okay? And I'm in a point of surrender. I am surrendering to the whispers because, I don't want to be screamed at anymore. I don't like being yelled at. Come on. I mean, I'm coachable, but you know what I'm saying? So anyways, a lot of people think that I want to be a yoga teacher. Now, the reason why I am not telling anyone, yes, I want to be a yoga teacher, or no, I don't want to be a yoga teacher, or yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to do that, is because I have been acquiring sacred knowledge. And this sacred knowledge is the fact that as soon as you decide, as soon as you say, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and that's where I'm going to be, then that's your reality. That's your life. Now, if I end up becoming a yoga teacher, if I end up living in San Diego, if I end up living in California, if I end up doing any of these things, cool. Super cool. I like it here, right? But if I say I am going to do this yoga teacher training because I want to be a yoga teacher, then guess what? I'm going to be a yoga teacher. And that limits me to an infinite number of possibilities, because we are swimming in, here I go. Who would have thought I was going to start talking about this? We are swimming in an infinite intelligence at all times. It's infinite energy. It's this infinite potential. All of these things are so vastly unlimited that I can't even conceive it. I cannot even conceive of the amount of things that could come out of me doing my yoga teacher training. And I want to leave room for some miracles, baby. I want to leave room for something epic to happen. Again, if that epic thing is becoming a yoga teacher, okay. But I want to leave room for anything to happen, because it's just how I live my life. It's truly how I live my life. For example, I went to this conference. Yeah, you heard that right, everybody. I went to a conference. I went to an HR conference. Now, I could have said to myself before I went to this conference, okay, Jenna, you are going to this conference and you are going to, well, essentially I was asked to go there to be of assistance, to be of help. And if I were to say, okay, I'm going there and this is what is my reality, this is what's going to happen, then that thing would have happened. If I would have said, oh, I'm going to make a friend, then I would have made a friend. If I were to have told myself I'm going to have a bad time, it would have been a bad time. If I told myself that it was going to get me a job, then it would have gotten me a job. Do you know what I mean? But I went into that conference with just nothing, no expectations, nothing. All I needed to do was show up with a good attitude and be myself, stay true to myself always. Staying honest and staying true to myself that's my compass. Those are my values. I've talked about values a couple episodes ago. Stand for nothing, fall for anything. Find some values, stick to them. Don't be swayed by other people's weirdness. Anyways, My values are staying honest and true to myself. So I know if I go into any situation staying honest and true, I'll be sorted. So I go into this conference and I'm like, infinite number of possibilities could happen. And I'm not going to be looking for anything. I am literally, like I said, staying honest and true. And you guys, the things that have came out of that conference, unreal. Unreal, nutty, stupid, and silly. Like, trust me, I wrote it down in my journal. It's going to be in the book one day because it's kind of one of those where I was like, I knew that was the best thing for me to do. In terms of going into something with zero expectation of outcome. Because when you go in with an expectation, first of all, that's what's going to happen. And then, then that's it. Like, I don't want to decide. I don't want to know. So, the reason why I am doing my yoga teacher training is unbeknownst to me. I don't know why I'm doing it yet. I'm going to know after it's over. The same way that I didn't know why I went to the conference. Now I'm starting to understand why I went to the conference. You guys, I'm just going to spill the beans about something. I got a job. Okay, dude. How cool is that? Oh my God. And it's like better than you could even imagine. Anyways, other great things happened too. Genuinely great things. I'm very excited about what that conference brought me. Anyways, I digress because going back to the yoga teacher training, I am going into this with just the utmost sincerity. I have been devoting so much of my time and my energy and effort into getting my container, by container I mean human body, ready for this. And I just want to go into it, no expectations, none, because I want to be able to pay attention to nuance and pay attention to changes and pay attention to the people and pay attention to the opportunities and how my body feels and where I'm going. And who knows what could happen? Who knows? But I don't want to get stuck on something. And I think too, I'm just even realizing even more about what it means to listen to the whisper of your heart, staying true to your compass. Your compass can be whatever values you have for yourself, but I literally, that is one, here's my influence in the episode. Find some values and stick to them, period. But listening to the whispers, so they're not blood-curdling screams, listen to those whispers, and while you're on your way, while you're in the journey of following that thing, also by using discernment and following your compass, pay attention to what's happening around you. I don't know anybody, I mean this sincerely, I don't know anybody that has told me, wow, I knew this is what was going to be of my life. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to be this type of person, end up here with this person, with these kids, with these friends. I knew it. I knew all along. Everyone always says, holy shit, if you would have told younger me that this was my life, I wouldn't have believed ya. And I can even speak from my own experience because it was just the 4th of July the other day and I had a flashback. Me and my best friend, Hallie, which, hi buddy, if you're listening to this, hi. Last year on 4th of July, Hallie and I were working this stupid and horrible, stupid and horrible job. Oh my God, it sucked. We were both working and, oh God, I don't need to get into that part. Whatever. We got done working and we used to live by this high school in Chicago, and we would go to these bleachers and we would smoke a hoot and sit there. That was just our spot. And last 4th of July, Hallie and I got off of work. We got to the bleachers. We sat down. We were smoking a hoot. Okay. And we were talking about our life, and we were talking about where we thought we were going to be and where we wanted to go. And because at this point, me and this amigo, we were, it was blood curdling screams at this point. We weren't listening to the whispers of our heart at that point. The things were getting loud, and we were just what the hell are we doing, dude? And anyways, we were just there talking about our life and how we need to we're ready for something new. Like, we're ready to make some changes, and it's time to pivot. And I want to do these things, and you know what I mean. And it was just 4th of July, like I said the other day, and I was reflecting, and I told Hallie, I made a voice memo, and I was like, dude, if you would have told me a year ago, if this present version of Jenna could go and show up on the bleachers and talk to that version of me and say, hey, Jenna, I know you have a lot of plans right now about where you want to go and what your dreams are and what your desires are. But hey, a year from now, you're going to be living in California. You're going to be taken in by the sweetest family. You're going to get a job. You're going to get better than a job. You're going to meet people that see you, love you, appreciate you. You're going to be dating like really interesting people. Sorry if I am. So it's cool, okay? I'm just going to say it, damn it. You're going to get to do your yoga teacher training, and you're going to get a job, and you're going to be supported, and you're going to be physically the best you've ever felt, and on and on and on. I wouldn't have believed you because you don't know in the moment about where your life is going to go. And so I think, wow, I just really went off on an absolute tangent, but I think the reason I'm feeling so pumped up and inspired about it is because my life always works out better than I thought. It always does. And I just know with 100% certainty that I'm going to be supported in doing what it is that I'm doing because I'm staying true to myself and I'm staying honest, because I'm continuing to just honor the whisper, stay honest with myself and other people around me, stay true to who I am, and that's that. And I don't want to say I am going there to be a yoga teacher because I don't know that. And I don't want to say stuff that I don't mean or know for sure. What I do know is that it's going to change my life. I know that 100%. Absolutely 100%. But I think a lot of people, and I've been asked by even, because I've had a lot of meetings with a lot of yoga studios and yoga teachers for the past year where they're like, why do you want to do this? They're like, because usually they're like, okay, there's 2 reasons why you do this. 1, it's to deepen your practice, or 2, it's to become a yoga teacher. And I've always felt really uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't have an answer. Because I want to stay open to infinite possibilities. I want to stay open to things happening to me, because that has been the biggest blessing and gift of all time. Every single time I've followed my heart and followed the whisper, on my way to those things, there are people, places, and opportunities that pop up out of left field. And it would be such a silly little thing to not pay attention to those things and to not follow those things. That's my journey, though. That's my journey. I don't know if everyone else feels good by doing that, but every single time that I have honored that part of life, honored that weird unseen secret about energy and transformation, consciousness, evolution, growth, all the things, it has brought me the most joy and abundance, because I get everything I want and more. Because all you really want is this feeling of security and safety. All your desires, all the whispers, right, are trying to get you to this like feeling. There's going to be people, places, and things that give you that feeling that you didn't even know that you could have even wanted that or wished for that. That's why you got to stay open. That's why you got to stay so open to things pivoting. In the same breath, I think it's also really important for me to say that while you are following your dreams, while you are listening to those whispers, there will be people, places, and opportunities that come along your path that get your attention. And it's up to you to use your own discernment to say no, because not all of these things are good. All the things that take you off this quote unquote journey, this quote unquote path that you have, aren't all for your highest good. I mean, I guess you could argue it's for your highest good, even if it's bad, as long as you are the alchemist of your life and you look at it as an opportunity. But regardless, I'm not talking about that topic right now. That's why I am such an advocate for making a list of boundaries, making a list of non-negotiables, making a list for standards, making a list of rules, if you will, for how you expect to be treated by people, how you expect to feel in work environments, and how you want your partner to treat you, and all of these things. That way, when you are on your way and you are on your journey following the whispers of your heart, period, while you're doing that, if something comes along your journey and it's like, hey, look at me, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, go look at it. Oh, I'm such an advocate. I'm just like going and looking at it. Go look at it. Play around with it a little bit. See what's going on. Say, who are you and what's going on over here? Okay? Refer back to the list. Refer back to the list. And if you feel like it's taking you off your compass, if it's taking you off your path, then that's when you just politely say, nope, no thank you. And then guess what? You get right back on that road and you keep moving towards that whisper. Don't stop following the whisper. You know what I mean? But also, if someone's trying to get your attention, you go over there and you're like, hey, you're pretty cool. This is a pretty neat situation over here. Huh. You might just find out that you now have a companion, a little buddy, a little something on your path to following the whisper. Or maybe not. You don't know. We don't know these things. But I think that's important to talk about. I also just feel like I just kind of blacked out. I don't even know if I said anything. I don't know how this is 22 minutes. I feel like I don't even know what just happened. Anyways, but all going back to, I am doing my yoga teacher training because I have been feeling as though I need to do this thing. I've been feeling pulled to this specific location, this specific place, this specific activity, in more ways than I can even articulate. But I'm not going to limit myself and say that I know why, because I don't know why. And I'm happy with not knowing why. And you want to know what? Maybe in like 2 months from now, I can tell you guys why. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know these things. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But anyways, I am so exhausted. I feel like this was such an atrocious episode. I am so deeply sorry. But you want to know what? It's one of those moments where I'm happy I did it. It's like the days where you don't feel like working out, but you end up doing it and you're like, you know what? Like, no one's ever regretted a workout. No one's ever regretted eating well. You just like don't always want to do it. But when you do it, you're like, you know what? At least I did it. And this podcast episode kind of feels that way. It kind of just feels like, you know what? This isn't my best. This isn't my best. But I'm proud that I'm staying committed to something and that I showed up and I talked, and maybe someone found value in this. But also, if you didn't, I found value in showing up for myself today. And this is the entire point of my creative expression. Proving things to myself, showing up, holding myself accountable, and staying honest and true to myself. Okay, you guys. I'm leaving to go to San Diego. I have to pack my entire little world up here, and I got to get it going. I got to get it moving. I got to go. How crazy is that? Wow. Another adventure by Miss Jenna Marilyn. I can't even believe it. I'm so excited. I feel so lucky. I'm so grateful. If you did make it to this point, wow. Thank you for listening. Seriously, you're so super sweet. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope you're having a beautiful, magical, wonderful, fabulous, extraordinary day. I hope your week rocks your fucking socks off and you make today your bitch. That was so aggressive. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Okay, bye you guys.